Everyone loves a good story, and I have one for you, my friend. So the church that I call home has a pretty good group of drummers on rotation when it comes time for Sunday morning worship. I think if my memory serves me correctly, we have about 5 drummers. Now, one of those drummers, his name is Corey, which I think he's actually been on the Sunday seat once or twice. So if you want to get an idea or a reference of who he is, his name is Corey. Corey, out of the blue one day, asked me if I would ever consider reviewing a stock drum that he had personally made some modifications to. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've done some gear reviews with like custom built snare drums and other things of that nature, so I thought this was kind of an interesting idea, because let's be real, not everybody can afford a custom built snare drum. Stock drums are a little easier to come by, so I thought, yeah, I would definitely be down for giving this a try. Let's see what we could do. Well, I didn't realize this, but the following week, Corey walks in and hands me this drum to review. Let's check it out. This is a D drum. It is a 13-inch, and it looks like he made some cuts. I'm assuming it's either 1.5 to 2 inches for the air vent, which does indeed go all the way through. Let's get this on the kit and let's give it a try. All right, you came to this portion of the video because you want to know my thoughts. You want to know my input. Well, first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Corey for lending me his beautiful snare drum for an extended period of time to create this review. Not all drummers are this lenient and cool and want you to mess with their drums and their tunings. So thanks, Corey. I really appreciate it, man. In regards to the review itself, I'm going to be really blunt here. I'm not the biggest fan of 13-inch snare drums. Now, I have a couple, but the reality is I used them when I was younger, and I've just held on to them. Nowadays, I personally tend to gravitate towards, a 14-inch snare, typically deeper, just for that, the lower tone, the lower tunings. I personally feel like I have better luck pulling lower tunings out of a 14-inch snare drum in comparison to a 13-inch. So that's just me, though. And honestly, there's probably somebody out there like watching this right now going, that's because you're doing it all wrong, which, I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert. I'm still learning the craft. So if that is you, first and foremost, that's a little over the top. Why are you screaming at the screen? But secondly, if that is indeed you, if you could please comment down below in the description on how to pull a lower tuning out of a 13-inch snare. That is something that I would like to learn. In this review, I tuned this snare drum to 3 different tunings to see where in the mix I felt the snare drum could fit the best. Honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the overall tone at first. Once I messed with the resonant head, though, that is when I personally felt like I got a clearer and a cleaner, more defined tone from the snare. Now, again, I am no expert when it comes time for tuning drums, especially a 13-inch. Honestly, the mids and the highs were probably my favorite. But this is just my personal opinion for this snare drum. Shout out to my dude Corey for letting me borrow this beautiful snare drum. It's not every day that a drummer lets go of some gear to let another drummer mess with it. So thanks, man. I appreciate this. This was a lot of fun to do, and especially since, this is a snare drum that I personally would not typically gravitate towards. But dude, I love the mods, and it's pretty sweet. If you have ever modified a snare drum, comment down below what you did to the snare drum, how you modified it, and honestly, if you have pictures, send it to me. I'd love to see what you did to your snare drums. That's it for this one. We'll catch you on the next one.